Hello everyone, it's Foo here, bringing you another Why You Should Use episode where we talk to you about everything you need to know about the new Pokemon, all their moves, stats, abilities, and the best sets that you need to be using. Today we're covering Rillaboom, the evolution of Grookey. This thing is a monster with so many different and really cool sets, so you want to stay tuned to hear about that. But over on John's channel,
we're going to be taking a look at Sobble's evolution in Teleon, the spy Pokemon. Very cool, very excited to show it off, but before we get there, we gotta talk about Rillaboom. And Rillaboom is a really cool Pokemon. I think a lot of people are, kind of all over the place on how much they like the starters. Rillaboom's definitely surprised me. I really think this is a really cool Pokemon. Competitively, I do like the design. And the Drummer Pokemon, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Not something I would have expected with this very fearsome offensive Pokemon, but when we actually get to the goods, the stats, the abilities, and all of that, it's looking really fantastic. It's obviously just a grass typing. None of these starters got dual typing, which good, bad in, a few different ways, but grass type, of course, 100 HP, which is really good, 125 attack, and then the rest of the stats are pretty decent, which I actually like with this Pokemon. Having the 100 HP, the really good attack, and then nothing else that really stands out in a bad way. I think that's perfect for this mon. 90 defense, 70 special defense, a solid speed stat at 85 is great, but the number one thing that truly stands out to me for this Pokemon is Grassy Surge. Now, this is a huge thing we need to talk about quickly. Grassy Surge is the hidden ability for the starter, and none of the starters' hidden abilities are available yet. Now, all, Pokemon, at least recently, especially the starters, have gotten hidden abilities, and those were released later on. Incineroar didn't have Intimidate for a while. Once it got it, it was much better in competitive. So for now, we're just assuming that there's no way to get Grassy Surge right now or in like the next few days. We will talk about it in a few sets because it's a fantastic ability, but we're also going to make sure that we do emphasize, as of now, when this is being uploaded, Overgrow is the only ability.
looking at Rillaboom's attacks, and he has a plethora of really helpful moves to learn, and not least his signature move, Drum Beating, which is a physical base 80 power grass type move that reduces the opponent's speed stat, which is so good. That is a very good move, a nice support move, and it hits hard, so that's great. It's got an even more powerful attack in Wood Hammer. It does cause recoil though, so you need to bear that in mind. And really interestingly, it gets U-turn. Now this is presumably because he can swing away on a vine at any given moment, but it does seem a bit weird with his drum setup. It doesn't seem very portable. Knockoff is a great coverage move and a utility for getting rid of items, and then he has Drain Punch to recover some health, but some really good coverage is ground type coverage. He's got Earthquake, although if we do get a Grassy Surge set, Earthquake isn't the move you want to run. High Horsepower is, because that isn't reduced in power in the grassy terrain. We've put some other coverage moves up there. Some of them are more useful than others, but some other notable moves, Fake Out. That's a great support move in doubles, so that's one to bear in mind. In terms of setup, he gets Sword Stance and Bulk Up, so you can either have a very offensive setup Pokemon or a bulky offensive setup Pokemon. Really nice to have both those options. And then also Growth and Work Up, which boosts your attack again, although the other two moves are generally better because having a defense boost is better than a special attack boost, and having two attack boosts is very good too. In terms of utility, he has Taunt, which can be handy. Leech Seed, really nice for recovering some of that health back. Sunny Day is useful there. He does actually have some moves that combo with that quite nicely, things like Growth, and also things like Solar Blade, which is kind of like Solar Beam but physical. And the last one we put here, Noble Roar, not that notable. It drops the opponent's attacking stats. But all in all, this Pokemon has incredible potential, mainly because of its attacking moves and the utility that those provide.
The first set we're going to look at is a very simple set, but this is easily going to be my favorite set. I'm a big fan of U-turn Pokemon. This thing's going to be really powerful, really fun, and with that 85 speed, it's perfect for a Choice Scarf. Obviously, it's not going to be the fastest Scarfer out there, but it's going to be able to outspeed a ton of things, and especially once this Pokemon does get Grassy Surge, Wood Hammer is going to decimate things. Obviously, right now, it just has Overgrow, so you can actually, get a Choice Band on this Pokemon. Choice Band's going to be good regardless, but if you do want to kind of, compensate for the lost power with Wood Hammer, you can throw Choice Band, Choice Scarf, either of them are going to be great. U-turn on the starters is just fantastic. Obviously, max attack, max speed. Jolly or Adamant just depends on if you want to be, Jolly Scarf a little bit faster, Scarf adding for a little bit more power, and then the same for Choice Band. But after U-Turn and Woodhammer, Earthquake or high horsepower, Earthquake will be good with Overgrow, high horsepower and Grassy Surge, so you don't have the negative effects as Grassy Surge actually makes it so Earthquake does less damage. Final thing, Knockoff. It doesn't have the best coverage. It would be amazing if this did have Edgequake, Stone Edge and Earthquake, but Knockoff is still a fantastic move, and it definitely fits.
The next set we're looking at is very different. This is a much bulkier set. We're going to look at a bulk up set. So it's going to have the leftovers to keep it healthy. Overgrow is great here, although Grassy Surge would be better if it's released. And then you're going to have max HP, max special defense with a careful nature to boost special defense further, because you can boost up your physical defense with bulk up while also making yourself more powerful with an attack boost. The attacks you're going to run are Drum Beating, so rather than running Woodhammer and getting recoil damage, Drum Beating is nice here because it's still very solid. Dropping the opponent's speed stat is helpful so that you can maybe eventually outspeed them doing more damage. Drain Punch is great here because you're getting even more recovery. Usually you might prefer ground coverage on this Pokemon because it hits poison types as well, but with this set, because you're all about being bulky, having a recovery move in Drain Punch is a good option. And then Knockoff, just because it is a great coverage move, it's a great utility move too, so this thing can switch in on special attacks and knock off some items even if you're not setting up bulk ups. All round, very interesting set and very different to the one we've just talked about.
Moving on to an Assault Vest set, this is going to be similar to the Choice Band and Choice Scarf, just a little bit more bulkier. Again, Grassy Surge would be incredible, but, since we don't have that, Overgrow will definitely do. And rather than having max speed, we're going to just put the 252 in HP. Want to make sure this thing has as much health as possible. Assault Vest is going to just, help out that special defense, kind of bring it up, closer to where the defense is. You should be able to take hits from both sides. Grass is a solid defensive typing. U-Turn is going to be really solid. I mean, it's just great on any of these sets where you're not setting up. Woodhammer or Drum Beating, but Drain Punch is really, really important here. Now, it would be incredible if this was like Stab, something like Chestnut, but just having that U-Turn is really going to help this thing out in a huge way. And if you can get the Drain Punch off on the right Pokemon, it has a really high attack stat. You should be able to get a decent amount of health back. And if this thing stays healthy, you turning around, getting big hits off, and then getting that health back, you are absolutely going to terrorize so many people.
We need to mention the fact that this guy gets Swords Dance, so it's just another offensive set. We're going to give it the Life Orb here and have Overgrow as the ability. We've got max attack and max speed with a Jolly nature, so you're as fast as possible. Base 85 speed with max speed and Jolly isn't too bad. You've then got Swords Dance, and again, you can pick Woodhammer or Drum Beating. It's your preference. We've talked about that already. One thing to note though, with the Life Orb and the Woodhammer recoil, you're going to get massive nukes off and eventually get into Overgrow, which will do even more damage. So though you will go down very quickly, you will be dealing out so much damage. And then again, Earthquake, high horsepower, we've talked about that with Grassy Surge, you need to pick the right one. And Knockoff, again, the same coverage, but just really important. This is the nuke set. This is going to do so much damage after a Swords Dance.
The final set we have for you guys is going to be a sub Leech Seed set. Now, this is another set that would be even better if you did have Grassy Surge, but it's still going to be very effective and very annoying with Overgrow. Max HP, we want to have as much health as possible, but we're also going to have max speed Jolly, because we want this thing to be able to, get up subs quicker if something's going to try to status this, block that, Leech Seed, and then you're going to be off to the races, annoying everybody in your path and healing this thing up. High horsepower or Knockoff just for coverage. Assuming you're going to probably want Grassy Surge once that's available, so no reason to even put Earthquake here. But if you do want that extra base power with Overgrow, you can do that. And then finally, Drum Beating makes the most sense. Really nice, physical grass move. Not going to lose the HP like Woodhammer, but still going to do some decent damage.
And finally, we need to consider the doubles format, which it is really pretty good for. Notable moves are Fake Out to get the flinch on one of your opponents and let your partner do some work. And he's got loads of moves that drop the opponent's stats, things like Drum Beating to lower a speed stat. You've got Bulldoze that does the same for both opponents, and you've got Snarl to drop their special attack stats. So all really great support moves. You've got U-Turn, which is great on bulky Pokemon. You can take and move and then U-Turn out of there, so that's fantastic. Taunt is useful for preventing the opponent from protecting, and Knockoff just to get rid of berries because they're quite prevalent in doubles. In terms of the best ability, again, we're going to say use Overgrow because that's the one available now. Grassy Surge will probably be more useful further down the line. And in terms of partner ideas, I put Mamoswine here. Mamoswine is nice because the typing really pairs up quite well. Rillaboom will help with water types that might threaten Mamoswine, and also it offers speed control in drum beating and also fake out. And then Mamoswine helps get rid of fire types and flying types that threaten Rillaboom. We then consider setup Pokemon like Shell Smash Cloyster. Because of the fake out support, you can incapacitate a Pokemon while Cloyster Shell Smashes up. Very, very useful there. And then finally, we've got Unburden Pokemon. This is if Grassy Surge is released, because if Grassy Surge is released, you can have something like a Drifblim with the Grassy Seed sitting next to Rillaboom. It'll eat the Grassy Seed straight away, get a defense boost, and also activate its Unburden ability, meaning that it's much, much faster. So that's a great pairing once Grassy Surge is available. So that's all we have for Rillaboom. I think this Pokemon is really great though. There's so many different ways you can use it, and that really impressed me. Grookey gang, you've done okay, so that's good news. But if you're Sobble Squad, you need to go over to John's channel right now, because we're talking about its evolution in Teleon there. So click on that video right now. All that's left to be said is I've been Foo, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.